Welcome back to Customer Discovery 101. I'm Benjamin Nason from the Happy Valley Launchbox, and we'll be working together on the next steps in the customer discovery process. At this point, you should have created a list of open-ended, neutral questions designed to help you test your most critical assumptions. Now, you need to figure out how you can find potential customers to talk to. Because you want to start a conversation and be able to ask more questions about what you're hearing, it's best to talk one-on-one and in person or via video conferencing. A lot of people ask why they can't just do a survey. We don't recommend this at an early stage of customer discovery for a number of reasons. First, the data that you collect tends to be of a much higher quality when you can be in the moment and follow up with additional questions. Second, interviews let you build a rapport, which often leads to the individuals introducing you to people you could talk to, or even maybe becoming your first customer. So, where do you find people to interview? It's a totally reasonable question. When looking to find customers to interview, it's helpful to start thinking like them. Where do they hang out, both physically and virtually? Where do they get their information related to the problem or need you're trying to address? You should also look at your own network and see who you know who might know someone that matches your target customer. For example, let's say that you're looking to make products for model train collectors. Start thinking about whether you know anyone who collects model trains. Are there any stores that sell model train products nearby? Are there any online forums, websites, or social media accounts that connect the community? Are there influencers or go-to experts in this space? Is there an event or conference that would attract potential customers? Once you have found a place where your customers are spending time, you can do a couple of things. If it's a physical space like a store, go there and strike up a conversation with somebody in the store. Remember, don't talk about your idea, but you can ask questions related to the problem that you believe they're having and the assumptions that you need to test. If it's an online space, listen in to what they're talking about, connect with individuals, and see if they'd be willing to chat with you one-on-one. This all may seem a bit scary, but remember, if you can't find people to talk to, you probably can't find people to sell to. The example above is most relevant if you're selling directly to customers, but what if you're trying to sell to an individual within a business? Getting interviews with potential business customers can be a little bit more difficult. However, it's not impossible. Think about friends and family and where they work. Might they provide an introduction to someone at their company? Look for seminars, meetups, conferences, or workshops that may be run by or attended by your potential customer. Sign up or go to one of these meetings, then strike up conversation or collect contact info and reach out via email. Use LinkedIn or Facebook to search for individuals who may have a connection to you, like attending the same school, connected to the same individual, or living in your community. Finally, depending on the problem you're trying to solve, you may have critical assumptions about a specific technology, industry, or trend in the market. And in this case, you likely won't be talking with customers to test your assumptions, but instead might need to connect with an industry or technology expert. You might also consider experts at universities, local businesses, or friends of friends. Conducting interviews is certainly an art and will not be something that you master in the first try. Knowing this up front can help you manage your expectations and help build confidence. As we've talked about, we recommend in-person or video conferencing interviews. This allows you to see and hear their nonverbal cues and to dig deeper when you hear something interesting or surprising. Depending on where your customer hangs out, you may be able to casually run into them, maybe at a store, conference, or a meeting. Take every chance you have to strike up a conversation. Most of the time, you'll likely have to set up a meeting. So here are some tips for that. Firstly, the more specific you can be about a request, the more likely someone will say yes. Tell them you're working on a project and want to interview them because of their shared experience in or have an experience related to a specific context. In our examples earlier, you might be model trains. Tell them that you aren't selling anything, but just looking to get their insights and opinions. Give them information about the interview, something like, I promise I'll only take 20 minutes and we can do this in person or online. Finally, provide a list of times and dates that might work. This is especially important if you're reaching out via email. It's easier to check availability of specific days and times than to respond with a list. One of the best ways to get started is to find friends and family who may be your customer and practice asking them questions. By starting with a safe group of people, you'll get some practice and feel more confident. At some point, you'll need to talk to somebody you don't actually know. This is a milestone because talking with strangers is where you start getting real data about real customers. If you're new to customer discovery, we recommend that you don't start by interviewing your ideal customer. Instead, talk to some other folks who might be lower on your customer list. For example, if I'm looking to sell a new fashion accessory, I might not start with the biggest and most notable designer or retailer. Instead, I might find some smaller local retailers to practice on before moving to more important contacts. Your next step is to start managing a list of potential places, virtual or physical, where you might find your customers. Your next step is to start making a list of places, virtual or physical, where you might find your customers. Then, develop a list of people who might fit the profile of your customer or who could connect you with your customer. Then, put together a plan for who you'll reach out to and how you plan to interview them. Once you've done that, set up a time to check in with your business coach to get feedback on your list of questions and your plan to find people to interview.